All right, let's jump straight into the explainer. Today, we're decoding an absolute masterpiece, Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. It's this incredibly captivating story about a young shepherd boy's quest for ultimate treasure. But really, it's a tale that teaches all of us how to listen to our hearts, recognize the signs constantly popping up around us, and actually find the guts to follow our dreams. So, let's get into it. Now, what's genuinely wild about this book, and what makes it such an enduring classic, is how it's built. On the surface, sure, it's a straightforward adventure, right? A young boy traveling from point A to point B. But right beneath that simple chronological journey lies a profound series of philosophical milestones. Literally, every single person our protagonist meets and every obstacle he bumps into is a super specific, deliberate lesson about spiritual awakening and self-discovery. And man, this brings us to one of the most famous lines in modern literature. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. This core message is dropped early in the story by a mysterious old king to our protagonist, Santiago, and it totally sets the stage for his adventure. It introduces this beautiful, mind-bending idea that the universe isn't just some random, chaotic void. It's actually an active participant. It wants you to succeed, provided your desires are pure and aligned with your true purpose. Which leads us to the real meat of our explainer today. What does it actually take to realize your ultimate destiny? Like, what exactly separates the people who achieve their dreams from the people who only ever dream about them? The old king tells Santiago that when we're young, everything feels clear and possible. But as time goes on, this mysterious negative force slowly creeps in and convinces us that realizing our destiny is impossible. We're going to see exactly how Santiago battles that creeping negativity. Okay, so the crucial starting point here is understanding your personal legend. Think of it as your one true gig on this earth, your unique mission. The desire to achieve it actually originates in the soul of the universe itself. And this is the exact concept young Santiago has to learn to recognize. He keeps having this recurring dream about a treasure hidden near the pyramids of Egypt. And he realizes, hey, finding this treasure, that's my personal legend. And he has to fiercely pursue it, no matter what. Let's track this journey, because Santiago's physical and spiritual road trip spans a massive landscape. It kicks off with the call to adventure back in the familiar rolling fields of Andalusia, Spain. Then he crosses the sea into Tangier, Africa, where he immediately gets hit with a brutal setback. From there, he's got to survive crossing the absolute vastness of the Sahara Desert, which leads him to the Al Fayoum Oasis for his biggest emotional test, before finally hitting the pyramids for the ultimate climax. Every single stop acts like a classroom for his soul. So, out there on the road, Santiago has to learn a whole new language. He learns to read omens, which are essentially the language of God guiding us toward our true path. The old king actually gives him two mystical stones to help out, Urim and Thummim. One means yes and the other means no. But more importantly, Santiago figures out how to navigate a world that speaks entirely without words. By paying deep attention to the present moment, whether it's the shifting sand or just a passing thought, he can literally read the path God has laid out for him. Then boom, Tangier hits. Santiago gets robbed of absolutely all his money and has to take a job with a local crystal merchant. This creates such a fascinating contrast. Santiago's relentless drive for growth totally collides with the merchant's preference for comfortable stagnation. See, the merchant dreams of traveling to Mecca, but he's literally paralyzed by the fear that if he actually achieves his dream, he'll have zero reason to go on living. It's honestly tragic. It perfectly illustrates how the fear of failure, or even the fear of success, can just stop us dead in our tracks. Santiago sees this and decides, nope, I'm risking everything instead. Moving deeper into the vast Sahara, Santiago links up with a caravan and meets this Englishman. Now, this guy is deeply, obsessively immersed in massive books, trying to crack the secrets of alchemy. He represents people who try to understand the universe purely through intellect and theory. He's spent a solid decade studying in vain to find a true alchemist, but he is so buried in his papers that he entirely misses the living, breathing world happening right in front of him. But while the Englishman is speed reading, Santiago is just quietly watching the desert. And through this observation, he discovers what the alchemists call the soul of the world. It's this universal current connecting literally all living and non-living things. Santiago realizes that absolutely everything on Earth has a soul. A rock, a plant, an animal, even a simple thought. And when you want something with all your heart, that is when you are closest to this soul of the world. He suddenly realizes that this massive caravan of people and animals only survives because it taps into this universal language. The guides aren't pulling out textbooks. They're reading the omens of the sand and the wind. The soul of the caravan is speaking directly to the soul of the desert. They move in total harmony with nature's language, constantly adjusting their course, but always keeping their compass pointed toward that final destination. And that natural intuition leads them safely to the Al-Fayum oasis. It's this neutral, safe zone right in the middle of a brutal, brewing tribal war. The palm trees are a total refuge. But it's also right here that Santiago faces his absolute heaviest thematic hurdle yet. He meets and falls deeply in love with a woman of the desert named Fatima. Suddenly, he's hit with a heart-wrenching choice: stay in the safety of the oasis with the love of his life, or risk dying to continue his quest. Right at this intense, emotional crossroads, he finally meets the true alchemist. And the alchemist drops this profound truth bomb. You must understand that love never keeps a man from pursuing his personal legend. He warns Santiago that if he stays, the omens will eventually stop talking to him, and he'll spend his life knowing he gave up on his true path. True love, the kind that speaks the language of the world, will always wait for you to fulfill your destiny. Armed with that truth, Santiago bids a super difficult farewell to Fatima, and the alchemist guides him out across the perilous sands. And this is where Santiago learns the real secret of alchemy. The alchemist basically says, look, there is only one way to learn, and that is through action. True alchemy isn't just some recipe for turning literal lead into literal gold. It's a massive metaphor for evolution. It's achieved by striving to become better than we are right now, which naturally elevates everything around us. But you know it's never that easy, right? As they get close to the pyramids, the alchemist drops a harsh reality check. Right before a dream is realized, the universe tests absolutely everything you've learned. There's this dark desert saying that people often die of thirst just when the palm trees have appeared on the horizon. And almost comically, right on cue, they are captured by violent, warring tribesmen. It is a literal life or death test of Santiago's spiritual mastery. So to avoid execution, the alchemist makes this absolutely insane, wild promise to the tribal chief. He promises that within 3 days, the boy will command nature and transform himself into the wind. Santiago is terrified. He's like, I have no idea how to turn into the wind. And the alchemist calmly replies that he'd better learn, or he'll die, casually noting that the threat of death usually makes people much more aware of their lives. Talk about high stakes. Cut to the 3rd day, the breathtaking climax. Santiago stands on a cliff in front of the whole tribe. And he doesn't panic. Instead, he applies everything. He speaks the language of the world. He literally strikes up a conversation with the desert, then the wind, and then the sun, arguing that love is the force that transforms the soul of the world. Finally, he prays to the hand that wrote all. And in this moment of total unity, a massive sandstorm whips up. Santiago disappears and reappears on the other side of the camp. He actually did it. He mastered the soul of the world. The chief is completely terrified and lets them go. The alchemist parts ways shortly after, and Santiago finally makes it to the majestic pyramids of Egypt. He drops to his knees, crying, and starts digging for his treasure right where his tears hit the sand. But suddenly, cruelly, he gets attacked and beaten by a group of refugees. Laying there bleeding, he desperately tells them about his recurring dream of a hidden treasure at the pyramids. But then, the impossible happens. The ultimate plot twist. The leader of the thieves laughs at him and accidentally gives away the ending. The thief says that he too had a recurring dream right on that very spot about a treasure buried back in Spain, under a sycamore tree in a ruined church, the exact place Santiago started his journey. In this beautiful, mind-blowing full-circle moment, Santiago just smiles. He realizes his physical gold was buried back in Andalusia all along. But his true treasure, that was the journey itself, the wisdom and the inner transformation. So he literally treks all the way back to Spain, digs beneath that sycamore tree, and pulls up a heavy chest full of old Spanish gold coins. Just like the alchemist said, everything is written in the soul of the world, and there it will stay forever. Enriched by the gold, but mostly by the profound wisdom of the universe, he feels the wind blowing from Africa, carrying the scent of Fatima. Having fully realized his personal legend, he prepares to return to the desert, to his true love. Seriously, what a wildly profound journey. Listen, if this explainer sparks something in you, and you want to dive even deeper into these life-changing philosophies, I've got something awesome for you. You can unlock my full premium guide on The Alchemist. We're talking a complete, detailed book breakdown and in-depth character analysis, exploring the psychology of Santiago and the alchemist, and all the key philosophical quotes you need to live by. And it's all yours for just INR 29. To get access, just DM me on Instagram. The link to my handle is right down there in the description. All right, as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with this powerful question to ponder on your own journey. What omens are you ignoring right now? The universe is constantly speaking to us, offering guidance toward our own personal legends. Are you paying attention, or are you too focused on the fears holding you back? Really think about it. Thanks for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.